The silent arrival, the galactic conclave station, orbited the neutral world of Proxima Centauri, its crystalline spires gleaming in the light of the system's twin suns. Within its grand chamber, representatives of 217 species gathered in tiered seating. Their voices, a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and rumbles translated into a common frequency by devices embedded in their ceremonial garments. High Aaron Zextrill of the Vespid Imperium raised all four of his upper appendages, silencing the chamber. His exoskeleton glinted under the chamber's illumination, polished to a shine that signified his status among the gathered delegates, esteemed colleagues. His translator projected the metallic voice echoing across the chamber. Our sensors have detected an approaching vessel. At the outer boundary of this system, it bears markings consistent with the newly discovered human civilization. A wave of dismissive gestures rippled through the assembly. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, having only achieved faster than light. Travel 3 solar cycles ago, their civilization occupied a mere 12 star systems, insignificant compared to the vast territories controlled by the established powers. A single vessel, Ambassador CAC of the Draconian, High J rumbled, his scaled hide shifting from green to a mocking purple. Did they not receive our invitation to send a proper delegation? Laughter echoed through the chamber, a discordant symphony of alien sounds, perhaps offered Tiora of the Lysan Commonwealth, her luminescent skin pulsing. With subtle patterns of light, we should consider this a cautious first approach. New species often exhibit hesitation when dealing with the conclave. The Archin mandibles clicked in, what his species recognized as amusement. Caution is understandable sending. A lone vessel is foolishness. Our combined fleet's number in the thousands on the main display. The human ship appeared, a sleek obsidian construct, shaped like an elongated arrowhead, no visible weapons arrays. No obvious defense systems, its hull absorbed rather than reflected scanning beams, making detailed analysis impossible. Curious design. Noted Science Director N.M. Off. The Quarian technocracy, the multi-visited eyes blinking in sequence as they studied the readouts. Our scans cannot penetrate beyond the outer. Whole primitive stealth technology, scoffed military overseer Gar. The massive Cronin slammed his armor-plated fist against his chest. Nothing our systems cannot overcome with adjustment. Aboard the ES Vemissary, Captain Alina Rise stood on the bridge, her uniform crisped. Despite the 18-hour shift, she pulled through the viewport. She observed the conclave station, an impressive structure. Certainly, but nothing compared to what humanity had built in the Sol system. Alone they're scanning us, Captain reported. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his hands moving across the holographic interface, fairly rudimentary. Techno thing that can get past our quantum membrane ray, nodded, her expression neutral, and their defensive posture. 26 warships of various class in standard orbital formation. Nothing particularly threatening. But they've adjusted their positions since we were detected. Predictable, Rise murmured. Open a channel to the station. The communications officer, a young woman named Chen, nodded. Channel open. Captain Ray straightened her already impeccable posture. This is Captain Alina Ray of the Earth Star vessel Emissary. We come in peace as representatives of humanity and the United Earth government in the conclave chamber. The Iron received the transmission with a dismissive wave greetings. Captain Ray, we expected a delegation more substantial. The conclave represents 27 species, surely. Humanity could spare more than a single vessel. Ray's image on the chamber's main display revealed nothing of her thoughts, quality over quantity. Aaron, the emissary, is sufficient for our purposes. The Draconian Ambassador, his scales flushing. Crimson arrogance, your species has barely left its cradle. You know nothing of galactic politics or power, perhaps. Rise replied, her tone unchanged. We request permission to Doc and present our credentials. The Aaron conferred briefly with his advisors, their chittering untranslated for the broader audience. Finally, he turned back to the display permission granted. Captain, a reception party will meet you at Docking Bay Epsilon. 9. As the transmission ended, Overseer GR approached the Aaron. This is an opportunity to assess their technology up close. My specialists should examine their vessel while the humans are occupied with diplomatic pleasantries. The Arkan mandibles clicked. Rapidly, a sign of approval, proceed. But discreetly, we wouldn't want to appear in hospital, able to our new friends. The emissary docked with practiced precision, its maneuvering thrusters making barely a sound as the ship settled into the berth from the exterior. It appeared almost modest, sleek, functional, with minimal ornamentation save for the United Earth insignia and blazon on the hull. Captain Rice led Asmal party of 5 down the gangway. Besides herself, there was her exo-commander Takashi Yamoto, Science. Officer Dr. A.A., Ibrahim Security Chief Major Carlos Ortega, and Diplomatic Attaché Dr. Jonathan Pierce. They wore standard blue and gray uniforms, conspicuously unarmed. The reception committee consisted of representatives from the Conclave's founding species, the Imperious Vespid, the Reptilian Draconians, the Luminescent Elysian, the Insectoid Quarians, and the massive armored Cronin. Their body language, even across species, conveyed a mixture of curiosity and condescension. Welcome to Conclave Station, the Arkan. Translator projected, "We trust your journey was uneventful. Thank you for your hospitality, Rise," replied with a diplomatic smile. The journey gave us time to prepare our proposal for membership. The Draconian ambassador's scales shifted to deep blue of surprise. Most species spent decades as observers before petitioning for membership. Dr. Pierce, the diplomatic attaché, stepped forward. "Humanity believes in efficiency. Ambassador, we've studied your charter thoroughly and believe we meet all criteria." While the diplomatic exchange continued, a team of Quarren technicians approached the emissary under Overseer's supervision. They carried sophisticated scanning equipment designed to penetrate even the most advanced shielding known to the Conlif. Proceed. GR ordered. "I want to know every secret this primitive vessel holds." The lead technician activated the scanner, directing it at the emissary's hull. After several moments, he chittered. In confusion, "Overseer, the readings. They don't make sense," explained GR demanded. "The scanner shows nothing, as if the ship isn't there at all." Gar snatched the device, examining it himself. The readings fluctuated. WI, lies showing impossible energy patterns and spatial anomalies, where the ship should be malfunctioning. "Equipment," he growled. "Get the backup units," but the backup scanner showed the same results. The emissary appeared to exist in a state of quantum uncertainty, simultaneously present, and not present, its true nature obscured by technology that defied the Conclave's understanding. In the diplomatic reception area, the conversation had turned to humanity's territorial claims. 12 systems is hardly an impressive domain. The Elasan representative noted her skin pulsing with subtle patterns that conveyed amusement to her kind, quality over quantity. Rise repeated her earlier sentiment. "We've developed each system intensively rather than claiming territory. We cannot effectively utilize." The science director's multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly. "Our preliminary observations of your technologies suggest you are at development stage 3, perhaps early stage 4. How did you achieve faster than light travel so early in your development?" Dr. Ibrahim answered with practiced ease. "Human innovation often follows unconventional paths. We discovered that what others considered theoretical was quite practical with the right approach." The vague answer clearly frustrated the Quarren. But before they could press further, Overseer GR burst into their reception area, his massive form radiating agitation. "Hi, Aaron," a word he rumbled pointedly. Ignoring the humans, the Archon excused himself, joining GR in a side chamber. "What is the meaning of this interruption?" Their ship gris, lowering his voice. "Our scanners cannot penetrate it. The technology is unlike anything in our database." The Archon compound. Eyes narrowed impossible. They're barely out of their cradle yet. The evidence is undeniable. Gar's armored plates clicked together in agitation. I commend them more direct approach to information gathering when they returned. The atmosphere had shifted. Subtly Thalian representatives watched the human with new weariness there earlier, condescension tempered by uncertainty. Captain Rias the Archon began. It seems your vessel has some unusual properties that our standard scanning protocols cannot interpret. Would you be willing to allow a more thorough inspection as a gesture of good faith? Ray smiled, a perfect diplomatic expression that revealed nothing. I'm afraid it won't be. Possible Aaron the Emissary contains classified systems that were not yet prepared to share. I'm sure you understand. Every species has its secrets. Indeed, the Archon replied, mandibles clicking rapidly. Then perhaps we should continue our discussion of your petition for membership. The process is complex and typically takes many cycles. To complete, we're patient, Rise responded, though we had hoped for a more expedited consideration, given the mutual benefits our membership would bring as the diplomatic dance continued science. Director Nim approached Dr. Ibrahim during a brief recess. Your ship, they began without preamble. It employs quantum uncertainty principle in its defensive systems, doesn't it? Ibrahim's expression remained neutral. That's an interesting theory, Director, not a theory only quantum manipulation could produce, the readings we observed. The Quarian voice carried a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Such technology is theoretical even to our most advanced scientists. Perhaps Ibrahim replied, carefully we should discuss technology sharing as part of humanity's membership package across the room. Major Ortega noticed several Cronin security officers entering the reception area, taking positions near the exits. He casually tapped his wrist communicator, sending. Assailant alert to the emissary commander Yamamoto received the alert on the bridge, where he had returned to oversee the ship systems, initiate protocol Chamra. He ordered silent running throughout the ship systems, shifted to a state that the conclave sensors would be unable to detect a defensive posture disguised as normal operation in their reception area. Captain Rice glanced to their own communicator, noting the signal from the ship. She smoothly redirected. The conversation, perhaps a demonstration, would be more convincing than these technical discussions. Demonstration the Archon translator could not fully convey. The mixture of curiosity and weariness in his chittering response. Yes, Rise. Confirmed a small display of what humanity could bring to the Conlif, with your permission, of course. The alien representatives exchanged glances, a silent communication passing between them. Finally, the Aaron nodded. We would be most interested in such a demonstration. Captain Ray smiled. Excellent if you'll direct your attention to your main observatory. I believe you'll find it quite illuminating as night fell over the conv station, and the diplomat attic reception concluded for the day. Their representatives gathered in the observatory dome, a massive transparent structure, offering an unobstructed view of space and the surrounding fleet. The emissary, still docked at the station, remained dark and silent, showing no signs of activity. The humans stood among the alien dignitaries, their expression calm and expectant. I see nothing unusual, the draconian ambassador hissed after several minutes of observation. Patience. Ambassador Rai replied, the demonstration has already begun. The demonstration. Dawn broke over the convey station in the artificial cycle maintained for the comfort of its diverse inhabitants in the grand chamber. The morning session was about to commence when an alarmed Quarren technician burst through the doors. Hi, Aaron, the technicians. Translator squealed the fleet. You must see this immediately. The main display activated, showing the exterior view where 26 warships had maintained position around the station now. There appeared to be only 25. The Dryden, not invincible. The technician reported it's gone. The chamber erupted in confusion. The invincible was the Cronin Folly ship, a massive vessel nearly 2 kilometer length, armed with weapons capable of reducing a small moon to rubble. impossible over Overseer Grow. No ship that size could leave without our detection systems triggering check for sensor malfunctions. All systems functioning. Normally came the reply, the Invincible simply vanished during the night cycle. All eyes turned to the human delegation who had just entered the chamber. Captain Rise walked calmly to her assigned position, her officers following with the same composed demeanor. Captain. The Archon's voice carried an edge that his translator could not disguise. Would you happen to know anything about the disappearance of the Cronin Drut Invincible? Ray raised an eyebrow. Disappearance, that's concerning. Perhaps your tracking systems need calibration before the Aaron could respond. Another technician rushed in. Sir, the Invincible has been located. The display shifted to show deep space far beyond the system's outermost planet. There floated the massive Cronin warship, completely powered. Down adrift in the void, how the Draconian ambassador's scales had lost all color. How did it get there? The distance is over 2 Li hours. More importantly, the Allison representative added, her skin pulsing with agitation. How was it moved without anyone aboard? Noticing Captain Rice cleared her throat softly. Drawing our attention, if I may, this appears to be the demonstration I promised. Silence fell over the chamber, heavy and oppressive. You. The Archon translator struggled to convey his disbelief. Yorship did this impossible, not impossible. Rise corrected, just beyond your current technological understanding. The emissary is equipped with what we call dimensional displacement technology. Dribrahim stepped forward to put it simply. We can selectively remove objects from normal space-time and reinsert them elsewhere. The process is instantaneous from an outside perspective. Though time passes normally, for the object being displaced, the implications hung in the air like a physical presence a single human ship had. Neutralized the Conclave's most powerful warship without firing a single weapon, without triggering any alarms, without anyone even noticing. Until morning, the crew overseer GR demanded, unharmed. Rise assured him they experienced nothing more than a momentary disorientation. Your communication should be restored now. If you wish to confirm, the overseer frantically activated his communicator, barking orders after a tense moment there. Leave voice of the Invincible commander confirmed they were indeed unharmed. Though thoroughly confused about their sudden relocation, this technology, the science director whispered, multifaceted, eyes wide with wonder and fear. It violates fundamental laws of physics as we understand them, not violations. Dribrahim corrected gently. Just a more complete understanding of those laws. Theron's composure had cracked, his mandibles clicking rapidly in a pattern, his species recognized as extreme stress, and your demonstration, what was its purpose? Captain Rice smiled, but the expression did not reach her eyes. Clarity, already inhuman. Sent one ship, not out of limited resources or nav, but because one ship was sufficient, we could have sent a fleet. But why reveal our full capabilities unnecessarily? The implications sank in. If one human vessel could neutralize a dreadnought without detection, what could several do? What could a fleet accomplish? Consider it also a demonstration of restraint. Rice continued, the emissary could have displaced your entire fleet, or even this station. Instead, we chose the least disruptive option that would still convey our message clearly. And what message is that? The Draconian ambassador asked, his surlier arrogance entirely evaporated, that humanity prefers peace, but is prepared for alternatives that we seek, mutual respect, rather than domination or subjugation. That while we may be newcomers to your galactic community, we're not to be underestimated. The chamber remained silent as the implications settled over the gathered representatives. Finally, the Aaron spoke, his voice subdued. Captain Rice, it seems we have misjudged humanity's capabilities. The Conclave would be honored to expedite your petition for membership. Ray nodded graciously. We appreciate your reconsideration. Aaron, and us a gesture of goodwill. The emissary will assist in returning the Invincible to its proper position. Within moments, the massive dreadnought reappeared in its original orbit, as if it had never left the display. Showed confused crowning crew members looking out viewport, their expressions visible, even. Across species barriers in the hours that followed, the tone of the negotiations shifted dramatically, where before there had been condescension and dismissal. Now there was cautious respect. Questions about human technology were met with polite deflection, but promises of controlled share in once formal relations were established by station. Evening the preliminary membership, agreement had been drafted, granting humanity observer status, with an accelerated path to full membership. A process that typically took decades compressed into a matter of months. As the human delegation prepared to return to the emissary, the science director approached Dr. Ibrahim one final time. "The dimensional displacement," they said, quietly, "it's not your most advanced technology, is it?" Ibrahim smiled enigmatically. "Science director. Humanity has a saying, never show all your cards at. Once cards a game metaphor, it means to keep some capabilities in reserve." The Aquarian multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly. Then what we witnessed today was impressive but appropriate for first contact. Ibrahim confirmed sufficient to ensure respect without triggering unnecessary fear aboard the emissary. Captain Rise reviewed the day's events with her senior staff in the secure conference room. Mission accomplished. Commander Yamamoto noted the conclave now understands we're not to be trifled with without us firing a single shot or making an explicit threat. Major Ortega added clean and effective. Dr. Pierce, the diplomatic attaché, nodded. Their body language shifted completely, from dismissal to respect. Less than a day. "And the real technology?" Rise asked, turning to Dr. Ibrahim. "Still completely secure." The science officer confirmed they believe the dimensional displacement is race. They have no idea about the quantum replication or the consciousness transfer capabilities. Ray nodded, satisfied. "Then we've achieved the perfect balance, demonstrated enough strength to ensure they treat us as equals without revealing our true capabilities." And the conclave Yamamoto asked, "We make valuable allies." Rise replied, "Their technology may be behind ours in some areas, but they have centuries of experience in galactic politics and resource management that we can learn from." As the emissary disengaged from the conclave station, the following morning, the gathered representatives watched. With new eyes, the sleek black ship that had seemed so insignificant now loomed large in their consciousness, a symbol of humanity's unexpected power. "We were fortunate," the Allison representative murmured, her skin pulsing. "With relief patterns, had they come with hostile intent indeed." The Aaron agreed. "We may have just witnessed the emergence of a new superpower in the galaxy." The Missouri's engines flared briefly, and then the ship simply vanished, slipping between dimensions in a way that defied the conclave's most advanced steno aboard the vessel. Captain Rise sat in her command chair, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. First contact had gone exactly as planned. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as supplicants but as equals, perhaps, even as superiors set course for Earth. She ordered, "I believe United Earth Command will be quite satisfied with our report." As the emissary traveled through the dimensional corridor that made light speed seem glacial by comparison, Rise reflected on the age-old human strategy that had served them. Once again, speak softly but carry a big stick. Humanity had spoken softly indeed, and the conclave now understood just how big their stick really was. The lone ship had been enough after all.